Going live. Going live.
உங்களோட ஸ்பீக்கர் மட்டும் அங்க யூடியூப்ல இது பண்ணி வச்சிருங்க, ஆஃப் பண்ணி வச்சிருங்க சார்.
கேக்குது சலீம் பாய்.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. It's 2:59. Let's give another 2 minutes and then we can get started. Jazakallah khair. We see a lot of people joining. So inshallah, let's give another 2 minutes and then we can get started.
Nazal, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I need to recognize you, man. You look good. I thought there was an imam sitting there in front of me.
So I think Abbas Bhai and Jailani Bhai, Noor Bhai. So we see a lot of people joining. So it's 3 o'clock now. Should we give another 1 minute or we can get started?
We can give a couple of minutes.
Yeah, inshallah.
I think we should start on time.
We can give a couple of minutes.
Yeah, inshallah.
யூடியூப்ல அன்சாரி பாய் பேசுறது வருது.
Okay, so inshallah, let's get started. We are on time. So Jazakallah khair. Thanks to everyone for joining this meeting. So I'll take a first 30 seconds to just give a little intro, and then we have lots of program loaded up. We have Aqib and Afsar, they'll be emceeing this program, and then we have our little Sheikh Nizal, who will be giving a qiraat to start the program. So just to give you a little background, so we've been thinking about this to host a program, an idea, which can give benefit to a lot of school kids, school students, like starting from the middle school to high school, just to know what are the planning we can do in terms of shaping up the college prep, towards the college prep, right? So we have two good speakers here, Brother Abbas and Brother Noor. They have done a lot of homework in a similar this one to find out like what are the best thing they can do for their kids to get into the right track. So inshallah today they'll be sharing all those experience. So without taking too much of time, let me just hand it over to Aqib and Afsar to start this program, inshallah. And once again, Jazakallah khairan for all the people to join this meeting. Assalamu alaikum. Aqib.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Aqib. Welcome to the IDEA College Prep Series. We're going to start off the program with a little surah, dua by Nizal Dawood.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن العزيز الجبار المتكبرون سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you for that wonderful recitation, Nizal. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Afsar. And before we get started today, let me tell you guys a little bit about our speakers. So Brother Abbas Ali has been in the IT sector for the last 25 years, and he spent some time researching the US education system, especially bachelor degree programs, and the optimal ways to get kids to plan their path to college. These efforts help to get both his kids to a top university. And our second speaker, Brother Noor Iqbal, carries a great tenure on IT and other business sectors. He has been mentoring many kids within our community and helped many kids with college prep programs. He helped his own daughters to admit into UT Austin.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Just one small request: if everyone could stay muted, and could you please park your questions until the end of the session? We're dedicating the last 30 minutes for all the questionnaires. Afsar and I will be reading out everyone's questions. Y'all can post them in either the chat or the YouTube feed, and we'll have them in a doc, and we will address them all, inshallah, towards the end of the series. Brother Abbas, let's start the floor, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I think I don't have much knowledge about this. I'm not at all an expert in this area, but I did little research for my kids, and during the process, I learned few things I want to share with our community. This is a vast area, and I'm going to cover very high level today, inshallah. And also Brother Noor and myself will be, speaking for a few minutes. I don't think it will be able to finish in 30 minutes. Our goal is to conduct many sessions, inshallah. Hopefully we will be classifying a group of middle schoolers, and we will advise whatever the knowledge we have. We'll share them to build their career path. And we will be having another session for high schoolers. And to be specific, for the 12th graders, there will be another separate session. How do they fill the college application, stuff like that. In general, the reason I was sharing is actually I was not well. I was not aware of all these things. So around 10th grade, my kids, I have no idea. They were asking me why you didn't know much about the school system here, college system here. And at that time, I started learning more, asking questions to the college counselors, school counselors. So then I compiled a few things from my experience. I thought I will share that. Brother Noor, you want to add something? Just an introduction.
Assalamu alaikum. I think you did summarize it really well. So I think let's go ahead, right? So we'll provide some more information along, right? So what are you prepared? go ahead and I'll chip in here.
Okay. So the college process actually starts, from my perspective, it should early start from the middle school, probably around 6th and 7th grade. And you can take some of the high school courses while you are in the middle school, which will reduce the load of the students while they are in high school. And also, uh, the, there are a lot of things will happen in high school, right? Probably they have hormonal changes. They don't want to listen to us, and they always have a name for us. They see parents. They call us the helicopter parents because we scrutinize them each and every step. Uh, so the reason they call us is we always involve in too many of these things. So I would say certain things we should involve and certain things we should involve. I'll tell you where we should not involve in their affairs. Uh, to get a high level overview, I will start with, there are many points. I'll also share this later. First, we need to pay at the colleges look for the application as a full entire totality of the individual. They don't look only the specific GPA or SAT score like in our back home. That concept is not in United States. They look at the entire profile of the children before they admit to the college. And also, we will classify the colleges into multiple categories. I call tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That is one category of the one classification. And also, among us, there are some of us don't want to send the kids out of the state or maybe out of the city. So then I have to have a different type of a sessions for them. But if some of us really wants to be excelling in their career in top universities, that's a different preparation. But in either case, if a high schooler or from the middle school, if they started doing these activities, it will at least help them, shape them to understand, what they are supposed to do here in this country. So first, of course, we all know the GPA, and the GPA is it will be started only from 9th grade, 10th, and 11th and 12th. The 4 years GPAs are very important. So we should pay attention to all our subjects, whatever we take from 9th grade. Whatever you take in 8th grade high school courses, it will not be counted. Only from the 9th grade it will be counted. We will go over detail about GPA, what is weighted GPA, unweighted GPA, all those things in the next coming sessions. We will cover them. And the second component, the colleges is looking for SAT and ACT, and we will also cover more in detail about the SAT subject test, SAT essays, and what is college board. We will cover what are the different types of materials available for English and math in detail. That'll take a long time to explain that one. And the third question most of us may be knowing is an AP courses. What is AP course? What is dual credit? So that again, I'll tell you how that will help them in the colleges when they go. If they have more APs, how it's going to help them in the college credit. They will get a college credit if they take AP courses and dual credit. Then I think they should also be participating a lot of competitions in the school. Either it will be district level or the state level, and some other competitions are like a Google competition, Intel competition, Siemens. There are many organizations conduct the science competitions if they're going for the science track, or if they want to be in a non-science track. There are a lot of speech competitions, journalism, and there are a lot of other competitions out there. That also most of our kids should compete in those competitions. Then another component the colleges is looking for is did the child participate in any of the school clubs? Schools have a lot of clubs like robotics club, UIL club, UIL math science, and there are many clubs are in the school. And sometimes the kids will start their own club. I will tell about when I explain detail about the school clubs. Then another component is that the volunteer activities. Most of the colleges are looking for what kind of volunteer activities the child participated. and they don't want like okay, my child was helping the homeless people for 5 years. They don't want that. They want, what did you achieved by that? Like, for example, if you say that, okay, my child tutored the middle schoolers or the kindergartners, they were all getting a C grade, and after I tutoring for an year or so, they all become A student. So that means that you achieved something, and that's what they want. They want, how did you transform somebody's life through your volunteering process? So we'll go in detail when we explain about the volunteer activities. Then the other component, if you can, is innovations. There are few brothers in our community. They have companies which they will help you how to be an innovator, how to invent things. There are few of our Muslim kids have invented many things in the last few years. And they also look for a community contribution. What did you contribute to the community, right? You studied science and you studied math. What did you did how did you contribute in your community? Did you work with the city to solve some problems? Did you work with the local officials to find some solution for the existing problem, things like that? So I will also cover in detail later. Also, if you want to go to one of the lot of the top colleges, especially Ivy colleges, they all look for a research program, right? Especially we have UTD, UT Austin, I mean UT Arlington, UNT, SMU. These colleges, they have a lot of research programs. Even UT Southwestern has a research programs, cancer research programs, and they always take high schoolers. So we should reach out to these professors and these other universities to engage with the professors, join their research programs. And if you happen to be in the research programs, then the colleges are interested in those kind of students. Hopefully they'll invent something later. So that is also another component colleges are looking for. Then another component is, most of the colleges, even our UTD, UNT, MIT, Stanford, Carnegie Mellon, they all have a summer programs for high schoolers. If we can afford, or if we are allowed to send our kids, outside state, I would highly encourage them to join these programs. You can Google it up. I will also go in detail later which programs are available, when they are available, and how do we get into those programs. That will give them an idea, like when you compete with a Californian student and New York student, and you'll get an idea like how much where you are in the national level. And also, there are a lot of companies in Dallas Fort Worth. They offer a high school internship. We should take advantage of in the summertime. Whenever you have some time, you should apply for these high school internship and get some internship, so that ultimately in your profile, in your resume, you can put all these things, and this will give a high profile resume for the colleges to see that you accomplished all these things while you are studying. And this is an overall high level things. Brother Noor, did I miss anything? If you want, you can add something, Brother Noor.
Yeah, so I think you summarized really well. So other two things that I see is recommendation letters, right?
Yeah, I'm coming to the 12th grade. This is a high level. That one,
Okay.
I have a 12th grade category. I will explain them in
Yeah,
detail.
and the class rank, right? So these two important too. So
Right. So this is a high level for the high schoolers and the early middle schoolers. But for 12th graders, the things are different. They have to fill a Common App, Texas App, scholarship component. They need to know what is FAFSA. They need to know what is CSS profile. They have something called a college essay, supplemental essay, rec letter. What is early action? What is early decision? What is regular decision? How do I know how much I need to pay to a college if my child get into MIT or Stanford or SMU or a UTD? There is something called a net price calculator, and there is something called a COA, cost of attendance, which is meaning tuition, boarding, lodging. Then there are categories of colleges. You have to categorize a dream college or a reach college. Then there is a match college level. Then there's a safety net. So these are the 12th grader. When they are in the 12th grader, they will cover all these things. So I don't want the middle schooler or early high schooler, don't worry about these things right now. This is only for a 12th grader. So if any of in the audience there are 12th graders, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help them in any of these categories. Again, I said it's in the short period of time, it's very difficult to cover everything, but that's why I'm giving a high level overview of all these things. And also most of the good websites are, if you want to know about research on the college, there is something called a collegedata.com. that will give you about the college information. And the another website is your kids may be familiar with this, collegeboard.org, where they are the one conducting the SAT subject test and AP exams. And the ACT is another category of the entrance exam, that is act.org. Then if anybody is in IB course, then I will explain them later. Then among the volunteering, if they want to go to a medical track, then they have to do shadow a physician, and all that's a different topic. Then if somebody wants to have a business, they're interested in business, then I can tell you how to create a company and what kind of activities has to be done to get in the business schools. Then in general, after this, I'll cover, right now I'm going to cover what is colleges are looking for. Colleges don't think that okay, I have less mark, I may not be qualified. No, that's not the right answer, because they're looking something specific in a child. And even if the child has, less SAT score or less GPA, they still take the child because they have different criteria in the campus. Let's say, for example, in the campus, if they are interested in hiring somebody who is, doing like flute or some kind of an equipment which is uncommon, and if this student has already been doing as a hobby for like 5, 8, 10 years, then they may admit this student for they have a different purpose. They want to market them, or they want to show something else. We are diversified and things like that. So coming to that, colleges looks for in their profile, they have to put male certain percentage, female certain percentage. They want to put Asians, Americans, Afro-Americans, Native Americans. So they fill all these things. And also they take some from New York, some from North Dakota, Texas, all over the thing. So you may see that okay, somebody in New York maybe having a full score, they will not be getting admitted in maybe a top colleges, but somebody from South Dakota, North Dakota, very less mark, they will go to the MIT. So there are a lot of criteria. So you don't have to worry about it. Of course, as a Muslim, we do our part, and then we leave it to Allah to do our decisions. And apart from this, I'll also give an advice, especially for the parents. You have to be considerate to them, answer their questions. They have a lot of things going on in their school, especially in high school, which they may not be able to tell. So first of all, I want you to pray for them all the time. Second of all, listen to them. Rather than giving instructions, I know as a Desi parent, I gave a lot of instructions to my own kids, right? So we all have that same mentality. So I would say, let us listen first. What are their concerns? What are their questions? Please answer them and guide them appropriately. If you don't know, please reach out to the expert people in that area. And also, I would recommend, especially the studying kids, they all spend a lot of time. You can, in like the old times, the Hafid, the Hufad, they used to take raisin, honey to feed the brain cells. So same thing, as a Muslim, you should really take advantage of that, help them giving the good food, especially nuts, raisin, dates, honey, mix them and, give them in the early morning. That will give them good for the brain cells, make them healthy too, because this is high school, this age like 15, 16, 17, 18 is where the bone is also growing. So give them a lot of calcium. Basically, you have to take care of the health. They had to be mentally, stable, because they go through a lot of upside emotions and stuff like that. So help them in all aspects. Then we will educate you whatever we know, because as a parent, we need to get educated ourselves to know what are the components are there. What should I do? Whether my child can go here or there? What should I do? Then I'll have a parent session about the money aspect. How much I need to pay for the tuition. If my child got selected in top colleges, do I need to pay everything? That's a different session. We will take care of that later, inshallah. Any other thing I'm missing, Brother Noor?
I think you covered it all. So, but if we can take one subject today, right? So and elaborate, right? So, for example, college for the high schooler for currently, right? So, what are the things they need to do for now? So for the other high schooler, we have some time. Maybe in next session we can cover. So for the people, kids who are in 12th grade, so if you can give some advice, what they should be doing right now, right? So I think they will be doing the application, right? So do's and don'ts on the applications, right? That will be great.
Okay. So the applications are open already. UTD, they are already started taking applications. As for the FAFSA opens on October 1st. So you can start filling. As far as the FAFSA, you can, as soon as you fill it, you will know exactly how much is your estimated family contribution, EFC. If you have any questions, always, I think Brother Akib and Brother Afsar has myself and Brother Noor's contact information, so they can share our contact information to reach us specifically if you have any questions. So I would highly recommend the 12th graders to start, wait for that. I mean, as soon as the October 1st opens, fill it up as early as possible. CSS profile is if you're applying for the Ivy colleges and certain private colleges, they want to know that CSS profile information, which is a more detailed of FAFSA. In order to fill FAFSA and CSS profile, as a parent, you need to supply them their all your income information. Yes, of course, by the 12th grade, as your children will be knowing how much money you are making and everything, they will be get to know. So you have to provide them your income tax information, because the FAFSA will calculate and tell you that this much is the money you will be able to afford if your child goes. And there are a lot of other factors. They look at how much is the family size, how many kids are already in the college, and all these components. They look at it and they'll come with this EFC. And also, yeah, I think it's the 12th graders. Hopefully, they are going through the college essays right now, maybe the first revision, second revision. And there are private institutions which are available to review your college essays. And if anybody is interested, let me know. I can share the information, because you cannot write essay yourself and you don't know what is the college admission officer is looking for. They are looking for a specific format. So that's why it is always better to, if you're going for a top colleges, then you really need to have another company to review your essays, and they will advise you what are the things the admission officer is looking for. And there are supplemental essays. Some of the colleges will ask you why you want to come, why you're interested in this. So there are a lot of supplemental essays. Apart from your regular 12th grade, you have to budget some time for these essays. Especially essay will consume a lot of time. You will draft one, draft two before you final. You'll go through multiple versions, and also it has a word limit. As you all know, if you look at the application, it will tell you 600 words. You have to finish it in 600 words. So all these things, you have to compress everything in that specific word limit. Then of course, work with your good professors, regulators. I would recommend, I think most of them asking for, if you're going for a science, then there are 2 science letters, and as well as another one, non-science recommendation letter. Net price calculator. As a parents, 12th grader, you can just go to Google, type net price calculator, and then it will ask you a few set of your personal questions, and you can enter all the information, and finally it will tell you how much will be approximately you have to pay to the college in case if your child got admitted into any of those colleges. Then I would highly recommend to categorize what are the colleges you are interested in. Like I said, dream college, match college, or safety colleges. Dream means, let's say I want to go to Harvard, so I put my Harvard and MIT and Stanford in the dream list. I just try, and nothing wrong in trying, so I will try that. But I may get, I may not get. A match colleges, yes, I have a good GPA, I have a good SAT, ACT score. Hopefully, I should be able to go to the tier 2 colleges. And then safety net is your A&M, UTD, and you apply, you will automatically select it. That's called a safety colleges. So like that, you have to classify yourself, and then you can go for these classifications, and then you work on these things. Any other specific questions? Any 12th graders are here? You can ask them after the sessions.
Abbas bhai, so I would say, that for the 12th grader, 90% of the time is up, right? So the only thing they have the time is concentrate on the application. Application is the important tool, right now. So to tell about yourself and your passion, stuff like that, and don't omit any of the supplemental essays. They say it's optional, but do not leave it out, because that is going to determine who is going to get a good college and who is going to get the scholarship, right? So that is important, right? So other thing is they have 1 or 2 attempts for the ACT or SAT. Do your best, right? So I think that is also most of the kids might have done, but they have October or November, and apply for yearly application for the, if you are in UTD or A&M or UT Austin, right? So you'll have a sigh of relief, right? You get admitted,
Offer letter.
right? Offer letter, and early in the days, right? So and you will know your scholarship also, right? So right away. So most of the times, yeah.
Right. Most of the colleges, they have only certain budgets. So the earlier you apply, you will be able to apply for other colleges, other scholarship inside the college. Let's say you apply for business school and you applied on June or July to UTD, and then you'll get offer letter in 4 to 6 weeks. Like by end of August, you already got selected UTD, and now you have some time to apply for the scholarship inside the universities, which I will cover later in the scholarship section. But then that one you have to apply. That is where it's going to be all your volunteering activities and all our other things will help you to make it unique, and which they think that yes, you are a valuable student, you are deserved to get the scholarship. And even if you are not able to go to the dream colleges, this will help you to get you good scholarship, good money for them. And as far as the UTD used to be, if you get like a 35, 36, 34 in the ACT, you used to get a full ride. Full ride for the parents who don't know, full ride means complete tuition is covered. But now they have a different classification, like a full ride and then maybe 50% ride and 70% ride and stuff like that. So you can, I will also show you can also Google it up in the UTD website. They give good scholarships. Apart from that, UNT gives a lot of other local scholarships. UT Arlington also has some scholarships inside the college campus. So you can apply them and get those scholarships. Again, all these scholarships you have to apply early, so you'll be able to get the funding. Once the funding is exhausted, even if you have a good profile, they may not be able to provide the funding for you.
Yeah, the another point is, let's say if you're applying for UT Austin, right? So, and you know that you may have a 50% chance. So apply on the, very less competitive courses, like, some other courses are very less competitive than, other computer science or finance, right? So once you get in the second year, you can change it, whatever the, major that you want it. So you may have to research on that one. If you're going for engineering, then if you're a girl, right, apply for some computer engineering. So they welcome the women participation on the computer engineering, right? So, and also if you're going for natural sciences, psychology and all, I have seen the kids, they got into the psychology, then they transferred to business school. So that also you want to keep it in mind, right? So
I think our time is up. I will hand over to Brother Akib and Afsar.
Jazakallah, Brother Abbas and Brother Noor, for sharing your knowledge with us. Inshallah, I believe that this series will help a lot of students like me to get into good colleges. Jazakallah again for sharing your knowledge. We shall start the Q&A session now. The first question that we have is, when you say early, how early do we need to apply for college?
How early? It depends on which colleges are. Like UTD, they already opened on July or something like that. They already opened early, even though the early decision deadline is November 1st. Most of the colleges, you can apply in June, July, and you will get your offer letter in August. So let's say, for example, I have a high profile resume, but I want to get one college safer. So I just apply UTD or UNT, and I got offer letter on August or early September. Now I am done. Now I will concentrate on, maybe I want to try my dream colleges, right? Like I want to try, Brown University or Yale University. I will just work on the essays and I can try. But I'm not worried now, because at least even if I don't get that, I already have a safety college in my hand right now. I already got an offer letter. So it depends on the college. You can call them and ask them what time, when their application is open. Typically June, July itself, it's ready. That's why I will cover in the next sessions about the ACT, SAT, when you need to take, how many times you need to take, all these things. That's the reason you have to start earlier, not at the 12th grade. If you have to start in the very early in the 11th grade, in the earlier 11th grade, You try a couple of times, and then you get all your scores are ready. Then you can apply for the colleges, right? You cannot just apply the college without you having a good score, because if you don't have a good score, then you have a chance till until September. I think now there is another ACT going on in September or early October 5th or something like that. In the act.org, you will tell you when are the courses going on. So you have some more time until you want to retry to get a good score before you apply to the colleges. And then I will cover what is composite score, combining everything will cover later, inshallah. So it depends on the colleges and depends on when you are ready.
So our next question was, when we're talking about competitive courses, how do we measure how a course would be competitive or not? Like which one would be more and which one would be less?
Brother Noor, you want to answer that?
Yeah. So, for example, right. So in the engineering side, and so computer engineering is highly competitive, but mechanical engineering or other engineering, right? So they have so you can go to the, for example, UT Austin, right? So I'm speaking on behalf of UT Austin. You can go there, and if you want to apply on computer engineering and see the acceptance rate, right? So some engineering has high acceptance rates, which means your chances of getting into that courses are high, high. Then also if you have a women applying for engineering, then see which department major is they're giving preference to women participation, right? So and there is another one, computational engineering, right? So that is highly in demand. So our computer science, so if you apply, then the chances of getting into that is very bleak, unless otherwise if you are in top 6%, right? So top 6%, and if your scores high, yeah, you will get your first chance, right? So you have first chance or second chance, so you put it in your application, you will get it. So if you think that if you are not in top 6%, or if you are in top 10%, or beyond 10%, then but your score is high, then you have to do a research. It depends upon the which university, right? It's UTD, UT Arlington, right? Arlington Aerospace is really good, right? So and computer science also equally good to compare to other colleges, right? So and UTD also has special majors, right? So you can every school has the acceptance rates, right? So you can go into there and check which major has a high acceptance rate, right? So based on that you can apply.
To add into that, if you don't know what is that top, Brother Noor was saying the top 6%, 7%, 10%. With the Texas, there is an I don't know, it's a law or something. But if you are in the top 10% or a top 7% in your school, let's say 100 students are there and your rank is 6th or 7th, then you will automatically, when you apply to any college in Texas, you will get a admission in the colleges. But need not be the topic, need not be the subject what you're choosing, but you will be definitely admitted to the college. That's what he meant by the top 6%, 7%. Go ahead, brother.
For our next question, so the COVID situation, for the current 12th graders, does the COVID situation change any process to the SAT or the ACT?
Yes. Some of the colleges, they dropped SAT and ACT as a criteria to get admission to the colleges. But if you want good scholarship, then they look at the ACT, SAT, because that will give you a national level comparison of where this child is. So that's why, from our perspective, we recommend take ACT, SAT. But colleges, there are even top colleges, they dropped some of the ACT and SAT score, to be specific, SAT and SAT score. Yes. Even some of the college application has questions have been reduced to 2.
And also, I think I have not seen the this year college application, and I think there will be a essay about the COVID, right? So you don't want to omit that one, right? Essay. So give your 100% on that one, right? So.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Mm-hmm.
what is the difference between the AP program, the advanced program, and or GT? Do we need to push the kids towards the GT program, and does that add any value when applying for college?
No, typically there are three categories in most of the schools, right? They have a regular track, and they have a fast track, or they call it as an honors program. And then there is a super fast track or a gifted and talent. These are the three categories typically in most of the schools, public schools. That doesn't matter. It really depends on the child, right? Even in your own family, some of the kids are, excel in certain things, some may not. You don't want to push the child also. You have to make sure if they can handle it, yes, you can put them in the GT and honors program. But that's not going to, um, it's not going to put down anything, because the colleges have a different criteria. They look at it, you as a student, they look at the school where you went to, like the school offered 5 APs and you didn't take any AP, then there is a problem with you, because the school offered 5 APs, even though there will be other school will be offering 15 APs, and somebody may be taking 6 APs, but they'll say, okay, they offered 15, you didn't challenge yourself. So there are a lot of factors. The school, the colleges will look into the school has to send a report. You have to send a report. All these things combined, they will look at. They are fair. They are very fair. They cannot expect from let's say from somebody from Harmony School in ULS, and they offer only certain things, and they cannot punish the child if the child is valedictorian or something like that. No, they don't punish the child. They take them. Princeton. There are a couple of other universities. There are a lot top universities. They took from that school too. So there are different criteria for a college. They look before they take a student from a particular school.
So our next question was, let's say if we get an offer letter from a safety school, how long can we take before we have to respond to them?
The May 1st
I
week,
yeah.
right?
I think until May 1st, you
Yeah.
have
Okay.
Time until May.
Our next question was, so supposedly there are two students. One goes to UTD as a comp sci major, and another one goes to MIT with the same major. Does the second student, the one that went to MIT, does he get a better job or a higher paying job, or what's the advantage?
Yeah, typically if they are in a good top Ivy colleges, they definitely get a higher pay, and because of their close network, and some of their friends, some of their alumni already in a top companies, so they come and take them, and also they'll get a little bit better pay than the regular computer science folks from regular state colleges. But I always tell them, doesn't matter after 3-4 years, doesn't matter how much you perform, you'll be able to make good money, and what technology you have, you'll be able to make good money, because it's only for initial first year when you apply for the job. That's where they look at all your college degrees. After that, nobody cares.
So our next question was, if schools aren't offering any AP courses, what are the other options to take them?
Yeah, as I told you, right, the colleges are very fair. They look at it. In a particular school, they offered X number of APs. They have this many club. They have this many sports activities. They look at the students' profile, how much of them they participated. So they are looking at that measure. They don't look at they don't punish the student based on what school they go. No, they're very fair in that one. But if you're really, if your child is very top in the school, my recommendation is to change the school and put them in a highly challenged school. And Alhamdulillah, in Dallas have a lot of good schools, good top 10 schools top 10, a couple of schools are in the US. It's right in Dallas, right? There are some schools like Talent and Gifted in downtown Dallas. That's one of the top schools. And there are a lot of private schools. I didn't cover about the schools. I'll cover that later, inshallah. If you have enough money, if you go to there are a lot of private schools in Dallas, and most of the private school in Dallas, they go to Stanford, MIT, and the top universities apart from the public schools. Go ahead. Brother Akib, you are muted.
You are on mute.
Sorry. Our next question is, what difference does IB make when it comes to college admission? Do colleges in America acknowledge IB students?
Yeah, Brother Noor, you want to answer or?
No, you can answer.
Okay. So IB, as I said, the colleges has a different scale. They convert everything into 100 points, and they look at all these components from the school factor, student factor, and they based on that they're going to give the admission. Of course, IB is a little harder. IB courses are a little harder. I mean, the student will also have to put a lot of effort, and but in general, those kids are really talented, and they'll be able to excel in their career, definitely. But that complexity they always inject into their admission process, so we don't have to worry about it.
So our next question was, I heard about the FADE aid program for college kids. How does this process works, and are there any restrictions, like citizens wouldn't be eligible or something like that?
What program, please?
The FED aid program, I think.
Yeah, so Abbas bhai, this was my question. One of the brother was asking about a federal aid program where they will be helping covering some of the college fees. So is there any awareness about that one you can highlight?
I never heard about federal aid. Typically, when you get an admission to the college, there is something called a Pell Grant, and there is something called a loan. When you get an offer letter, it'll tell you all those breakdowns, but I don't know what they meant by federal aid. I never heard that.
Yeah, maybe that is the aid, right? So what you said, right, Abbas bhai?
Yeah, grant. They called it a grant, meaning, let's say, for example, you got admitted to MIT, right? And your family makes only $60,000, and for them, 60,000 and below are 100% tuition free. So if you see the offer letter, it'll tell you, $77,000 is the total COA, which is cost of attendance, which includes tuition, boarding, lodging, and everything. And the tuition is $57,000, and they'll tell you $50,000 is covered by grant, which is need not be a federal aid. Even the MIT has a lot of funding. From the alumni, they take that money and they put it into their fees, so you don't have to pay that. That's all I know, but I don't know. I never heard about this federal aid or what the exact word, I don't know. But that's how the grant works. Then they'll tell you, let's say, for example, if somebody's making $120,000, they'll tell you that your contribution is like $13,000. So if you see that same $77,000 for you, instead of $57,000 tuition fees, it'll be like $50,000. $7,000 you had to pay from your pocket, and then boarding again they will cover only 50%. Then again you have to pay that the rest of the $6,000. So for that they'll tell you, we covered $50,000 by grant aid money, which is free money. Then they will give you the $7,000. You can take a loan, and they will give you a couple of types of loan. There is something like subsidized loan, unsubsidized loan. I'll go in detail later. And which is like some of them are deferred interest loan, some of them are interest will start right away. So those types of the loans you can take as a student, and then eventually you will pay it off. So that's another category. Then they will also give another something called a work study. They'll give an option. You can work in a library, or you can work under the assistant of the teacher, or some research programs. You can make some money, and then you can take them. You can pay it off your tuition. So there are multiple options related to that. But I don't know. I never heard the word called federal aid in general terms.
I think you have to specify the work study on the FAFSA, right?
Yeah. No, FAFSA work study is from the college. When the college gives the offer letter, they'll tell you that, okay, this is the way you can pay the fees.
Brother, one quick comment. This is Shaul made. Even the FAFSA is called Federal Student Aid, right? They may be, quoting that.
Maybe, I think so.
Yeah, just a comment on that.
So another question that was asked was, when making your application, what would be a way to help me stand out when creating the application?
First thing is parents do not help the application process. Stay away from the application process of these students, right? So let the first that's the Abbas Bhai Guruji, he gave the advice to me. So I stayed out of the application, and so once the kids fill all the application, then hire a professional to go through your essay and application. That will help, so because they know, because still so far I have not seen my daughter's application at all. I do not know how it looks like. So stay away from the application process, and let the student and the professional handle that applications.
Yeah,
Right,
I will,
Abbas bhai?
yes,
Guruji.
I will add into that, Brother Noor. So the reason Brother Noor was saying like that is, first of all, our mindset is totally different. Our kids' mindset is totally different, and the admission officer is in early 20s or so. So when you write, or you and me write an essay and give it to them, and they know that this, by reading them, they know that definitely this is not a teenager essay, so they will immediately disqualify. And I have been repeatedly told by many people, even the school unit principal and the teachers, don't interfere in their kids' essay. So that's what Brother Noor meant. So the essay is a very, 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 very important component to get admitted to the colleges, because if there are two kids, right? One of them is a millionaire's son or a daughter, and then another one is like somebody's parents are less than 20, 30, 40K income. But you cannot see the difference. Both of them have a good SAT score, ACT score, all the things are there. But what environment they studied, only the essay will tell them, because that person who is making like 40, 50K, the parent, he will tell, okay, I had to help my family. I was in McDonald's, I was part-time. And so when he explained all these things, and then they will see, okay, he got SAT score, ACT score 36 out of 36 by working in the night shift in the McDonald's, and take care of the family. He take care of his feeding the family, studied well, so he will be more qualified into the colleges than a millionaire child sitting at home getting all the tuitions and stuff like that. So the essay is the only component will be able to tell those details about the individual, their feelings, their emotions, what they went through. So that's why we don't inject our brain into that. That's what the Noor said, that do not even look into that essay. Even I didn't look at my kids' essay either, as he said, because it is not a good idea. If you look and if you mess with their essay, they will never get into any colleges. Period.
All right, moving on to the next question. What criteria should we consider as Muslim parents, Islamic parents, to decide on reach, safety, and target colleges?
Brother Noor, you want to say something?
No, you go ahead by this question.
It really depends on, as I said, right? Some of the parents don't want to send the child out of the state, out of the city. So all these factors, it's a case by case. There is nothing like the reach and the dream and the match, all these different categories only for the kids or the parents decided, okay, I want them to, explore their potential. I want them to, go to any top colleges. Then we are going to in that category. Otherwise, there is a different set of, instructions for the people who go to only UTD, UT Arlington, and UNT.
So our next question was, are there any programs that go straight to your career as a high schooler? For instance, a PA program you can get into from high school instead of waiting till you finish undergrad.
I didn't understand the question. Tell me once again.
So basically, are there any programs that would go straight to your career as a high schooler that maybe could influence your career?
You mean from the job from high school?
Yeah. I think that's what the question is asking.
There are a lot of jobs which doesn't need degree. Some of them is only GED, they graduate in high school diploma. And also, I will come to that later. If some of the parents don't want to spend too much money and my child is only an average child, I don't want them to go through this hardship. What is the shortcut? The shortcut is that you can tell them 2 years into the community college, pay less fees, and get your associate degree, And then they can go for rest of the 2 years in UTD or UT Arlington and get your bachelor's degree. So that's another route to get if they don't want to.
Yeah.
If
So
they want to
Abbas,
get
if that is the route, the another option is whatever the category that you said, send them to take a dual credit is free anyways, right? So if you are in high school and take a free dual credit, because the same courses that you are going to community college, you are going to pay $500 or $600. So, but you can avoid by going, taking those courses on the high school, right? So it's a free anyways.
Yep. There are some schools who offer the dual credit. So if you come out of the high school, you already get associate degree.
Yeah.
Again, I will cover those later for the middle schoolers and the early high schoolers, because that one you cannot start at the 12th grade. You have to start way back.
I think this is our last question. Could you please suggest any professional agencies to review like college applications?
Yeah, I will. I have some information. I will post it on the group. So, Abbas bhai, you have many. So,
No. I think you have the latest one. Go ahead and post them.
No, you also post it. I will also post.
I will share them.
All right, inshallah. So as we're planning on continuing this as a series, and very soon we will create a common email that will be that everyone will they can send their questions through that common email. And inshallah, we'll have someone checking it every day, either Brother Abbas or Brother Noor. They can help you guys answer the question. I'd like to move it on to my dad. Salim, is there anything you want to say?
Thank you so much. I mean, first time he's calling me with name, so I'm so happy. Okay. So, first of all, Jazakallah khairan, Brother Abbas and Noor. You guys are real encyclopedia. Right? I know Noor Bhai for a long time. So, Brother Abbas, I met him in one of the program or the function, like where I spoke to him just for 5-10 minutes. Before that, I used to listen to so many programs about how do we shape up your kids' future and all those things. I always get so confused because they load with a lot of information. But when I spoke to Abbas Bhai for 5-10 minutes, he made it look like so simple. He said like it's not hard working, it's a smart working. Either any of our kids, all our kids are smart kids, right? So you just need to make sure smart to pick up the right channel to put them in Ivy League or wherever it is, the top college, the tier 2 as well. So he gave me like only 5-10 minutes of speech, and it made me so comfortable. Like, okay, this anybody can just move forward. So he took the fear out of my brain. Thank you so much, Brother Abbas.
That is why we call him Guruji.
So that is why, like, I was talking to Brother Ansari Bhai, and then in the idea forum saying like we need to bring, because we have and so much. Thank you for both of you to coming forward in helping our community people. So we thought like, since you both of you having like an encyclopedia kind of knowledges, so I don't think this 1 year, even if I do every fortnight this series, it will go for years, because exactly you touched upon some of the financial planning. So yesterday, I don't know if Ansari Bhai can add, me and Ansari Bhai, we were talking about after this, we also should add about financial planning for all our parents to start planning from their childhood itself, right? So that also looks like, Abbas Bhai, you are the person encyclopedia for that as well. So there are so many things. So would be very happy to just work with you on a complete yearly basis to run through this program. So thank you so much for everyone's time to take out like this 1 hour from the Sunday afternoon. I know this Sunday afternoon is kind of taking rest. And so thank you so much, and special thanks to Abbas Bhai and Noor Bhai, and then both our kids like Arif Bhai's son Afsar and Akib as well for hosting this program. And believe me, in my entire IT career, we never started this program on time and finished off time. Exactly, we started at 3 o'clock and then we are at 3:57, just 3 minutes left. So Alhamdulillah, very well managed. Thank you so much, both of you. And then we can end with a dua. But before that, I want to just ask anybody from the idea group, like Ansari Bhai, or anybody you want to, or any other brothers, if you want to just give a thanks note. And between Noor Bhai or Abbas Bhai, one of you, if you can have a closing dua, that would also help. And Brother Ansari,
Assalamualaikum. I think it's an excellent program, what you did today. Thank you, Abbas Bhai and Noor Bhai, for, coming out and sharing your knowledge and helping the kids in our community to get to the next level. It's sometimes, things are available in plain sight, but we don't see them. And, this is something that the parents have to take an initiative to do something. And one thing I wanted to mention here is that IDEA also has volunteer opportunities available in our youth group. So we have some programs coming up. You can sign up for that and get some really good, volunteer hours put in your resume that's going to help you in your college application. I wish you guys all the best, and we want to see all of you who are listening to this program and conducting the program somewhere up there in your career soon, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah, brothers. Brother Abbas, you want to just close with a short dua? I know we all will be making dua for Brother Abbas and Noor, but I would like to see a short dua from Abbas.
Jazakallah for listening from us, myself and Noor, and reach out to us any questions. We'll be happy to help you whatever you have. Inshallah, I'm sure you may have a lot of questions, and I think Brother Akib and Brother Afsar will be coordinating all these things in the future, inshallah. As I said, we can have multiple sessions for different category of high schoolers and middle schoolers. That's all I have. Inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Ameen.
Ameen.